I think all is good. I think we are live. Let me just quickly test. I think all is good. Are we live? Are we live? Somebody says, is it not working? I think it is. I just need to give it a second sometimes. Yes? All right. Working fine. All right. So today has been a pretty crazy day for crypto. I'd say the last I'm going to say like 48 to 72 hours already has just been absolutely crazy. But I still think a lot of people don't know exactly what's going on. And obviously, after the massive dump, a lot of things have still happened. I've got a lot of things open up here to kind of guide you guys through exactly what happened when, what we're expecting for the near future, and what our plan is going to be. Because I've seen some very angry tweets about, I'm not even, this guy said, great lesson here, buy 0 out of 0 AI coins. Man, even some of the coins that I was holding here are just absolutely destroyed over the past couple of days. Not down like 50%, not down like 20%. We're talking 75% down. This one is down in 1 hour. It just completely died out. Maybe they rug pulled or something. I do not exactly know. Massive though, absolutely massive in a negative way. Perhaps this is all just one big serial rugger that made all these coins that all just died. Not exactly sure. But a lot of people are asking, what is our plan? What is our goals? What are we looking for? What are we doing? And I think did I show you? I think I showed you. And I think today is a good time to talk about that. Then again, let me quickly go ahead and share the stream, because the last couple of times I've not done that. But today, I think since there's less emergency, it might be wise to go ahead and share the stream here. We are live. There we go. And let me share it over on Telegram as well. There we go. All right, I'm just quickly sharing it everywhere in case somebody didn't find it out yet. And everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. And let me know in the chat box where you're watching from. Some of you guys are already doing that. We have Michael from Mississippi. Dennis says, have I slept well? Of course. It's already like 5 p.m. though. So, I mean, I've been up for a little bit, but we're all good. We're good. We got Glasgow in the chat from Santiago, Montreal. Welcome. Anyway, so let's dive right into some of the news that's going on. I think it's pretty crazy, but you guys will see exactly what I mean in just a second. So first of all, most of the cryptos have seen a pretty good recovery over the past couple of hours. And I'd say that it was actually just a massive dip yesterday, and then everything recovered instantly, and it's just been sideways from there. Where Bitcoin was 64 point something thousand yesterday, pretty quickly after it hit 60K. Ethereum went to 2,800, I think, on most exchanges, and came right back up to 30.5 or so, something like that. BNB went down medium hard, but it recovered really, really fast. Solana went down to like $115, which is wild. XRP went to 41 cents, so it's already up 20% or so in a day. But I think in a few hours, we're going to see these numbers really go up a ton, because obviously in a little time span, since all those coins were down so much, like 20-30% in an hour for some of these coins, this number is also going to be really, really green in just a second, but you've got to give it some time. Anyway, to quickly get into the posts. So you guys got to also understand, we're down a lot. I accept that. I admit that. But realistically speaking, we're only down from like the highs of like last week, etc. Like many people have also put up that even though we're down, we're not down that much. It's just for some altcoins that have really had a good reset. But if you had a properly diversified crypto portfolio with some Bitcoin, with some ETH, etc., it's not that bad. And no, I know some people don't like to hear it, but it really ain't that bad. Like the whole crypto space, I think, is still up like 200% this year. And so the crying is mostly because altcoins are just bleeding. But generally speaking, crypto ain't in that much of a bleed status just quite yet. And what is really funny also to me is that, okay, let's just quickly read this. All right, so as you can see, higher low on the 5-minute time frame. So boom, because obviously the crazy news dropped yesterday. And you just close your window and say, one sec, sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm long in here because the situation yesterday was just so absolutely crazy. And at the end of the day, it didn't really cause too much havoc. Like for a really, really short time, yes. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just the fear of what might happen that is so trendy and so in your face. If you can see here over on the right, you can see all the trending hashtags and some of the you guys are wild, man. What's this? But anyway, you can see the trendy hashtags. You can see people are fearful of something that may occur, may happen. But if we're talking about what happened here in terms of severity, it's not that big a deal for the crypto space. Matter of fact, it should have actually propelled the crypto space upwards. But you guys know how crypto works. It didn't do that. So in lieu of that, with that in the back of our minds, are things going to be crumbling down further? Well, if there's some massive escalation coming, theoretically speaking, it should all be bullish for Bitcoin and crypto. But here's 𝗕𝗪, and here's what he said. Remember when Russia invaded, some place, and Bitcoin never recovered and went to zero immediately afterwards, as a lot of people always like to state? You don't? Well, because it didn't happen. And if we're looking back in time, this is the moment where our neighbors decided to go pretty hard and got some heavy announcements in. And yes, crypto prices fell hard. I mean, just a few days before that, Bitcoin was at like 45K. And then here it fell back to like $33,000 in a really short span of time. But it went from 33,000 back to 45K in like a week or so, right? After the massive FUD, after the massive fear. And honestly, I think most people are agreeing with me here that that's mostly on the trajectory here. That we are literally just going to be recovering over a few days. It makes a lot of sense, especially with the Bitcoin halving coming in clutch. And I honestly think that most people are in the boat of just buying hard, buying the dip and not really looking back. And as you can see here, whales are following that same principle. Look on Chain shared that this whale, somebody, spent 70 million to buy 23,000 ETH at about 29.40 from the bottom again after the ETH dropped. He has bought 85,000 ETH, or almost $300 million, from Binance and DEXs in the past week, with an average price of $3,241. He still has $136 million in stablecoins, though, to buy more Ethereum. And obviously, this is not the average Joe, because obviously the average Joe, as far as I remember, doesn't have $300 million or even $400 million. Let's quickly see. Yeah, so $400 million. The average Joe doesn't really have that, I think. But the idea is quite clear that people are buying this dip. And right here, when it dropped down to what, 2,900, he's buying that freaking dip. And if you really, realistically speaking, do that all the time, if you just keep on buying that dip further, it is quite hard to lose. It's just when you get scared and you think of selling everything, or you just buy once and you hope for the best, then it's like a game of luck a little bit more. But if you really consistently buy the dip, it really ain't that hard to win, in my opinion. Anyway, Rover shared this. This is the Bitcoin CMA gap in the making. So what it basically showcases is the level that we went into going into the weekend, right? So let's say we went into the weekend at 67 point some thousand dollars. And now, since we are ending the weekend in a few hours and we are still at like 64 or so, that is a massive CME gap, which usually does get filled. Let's say we go down, let's say we go up, it doesn't matter. But let's say we ended up down, we're most likely going to be filling this again towards the upside, is basically the expectation of the green stuff you see right here. And so basically whatever number it ends up at, in comparison to where it started at, that's the price action of the weekend. It usually reverts back to whatever price it was at just before the weekend, is the general consensus there. This is the general thesis behind all that. Anyway, Michael from the Popa had something interesting to share. He said, markets rotate after a capitulation. The last 48 hours was one of the heaviest corrections for the crypto space in the past year, through which everything has been reset. And I think a lot of our minds have been reset. Many people realize now, some of you guys are asking, is this live? Yes, it's live, of course. If you're in the chat box, just say hi real quick. I'm watching everything, don't worry. I see every single thing in this chat box. I'm watching. Oh, you can't see it, obviously. I was showing you. I'm looking at everything right here at the chat box. I'm seeing everything. Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. The people saying hi. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. As I was saying, though, yeah, I think this is a wake-up call to a lot of people to realize markets ain't up forever. Generally speaking, it's upwards, but it ain't up only. And you should be more eager to sometimes take some profits. And you should understand as well that many of these altcoins and meme coins are garbage. Will go down 99% in the bear market, which is going to happen not too long from now. And you got to be ready for that. Even today, yesterday, right? This was the worst day in my crypto history. And I've been here for 10 years. And this is the worst loss I've ever taken. Why? Because I know in a bull market, to make it big, you got to get a little bit cronky. All right, you got to put your brain, if you've got an IQ of, let's say, 120, right? You got to knock it down a little bit to an IQ of about 80 to really get the best benefits out of it. If you're not a little bit on the crazy side, somebody's got to look at you and think, ooh, you sure you want to do that? When I call up anybody in my family, they're like, are you sure about that? Shouldn't you put more things in it? I'm like, oh, my friend, we're going big or we're going home. There's no in the middle. There's no middle ground. We ape because it's the time for it. And I guess it's the same thesis as with a card counter. In, for example, a game like blackjack. You understand the thesis, and even though sometimes your brain thinks, oh, I should be doing something different, you follow the thesis because you know, provably, right? It works. In the crypto market also, I personally sometimes think with my investments, this is stupid. I shouldn't be doing that. But I know from past experiences that the best way to play a bull market is to go crazy, way up on the risk scale. You know, again, I'm not financial advising you anything. There's a little freaking fly again, huh? This is going to bother me so much. So if you're wondering why I'm going to be doing like this type of things in a second, I'm not crazy yet. It is the flies. I told you guys about going crazy, but not this type of crazy, right? Or maybe I'm seeing things because I haven't slept in a while. Could be. You're the one who's going to find out, I guess, or me, or both of us. Anyway, so I always emphasize to go a little bit crazy, but it's not financial advice. Again, many people like 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗃 are saying, refinance your house, remortgage your house, go crazy. I ain't the one to say that, right? The risk should be manageable, but a little bit on the side of, okay, I could go for Bitcoin alone, or I could go crazy on altcoins, which can go down 70% in a day, but they have the potential to go for times 4, times 10, times 20. ATR, a coin we bought in a live stream a while back, 23x or so in like 4 weeks afterwards. 𝗓𝗓, again, I was holding it to 1 cent, $8 a few months afterwards. Those are the ones I'm looking for. You can stick with Bitcoin and you'll be fine. But I really want to go big or go home, right? So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the matter. Then again, this makes you realize it sometimes ain't bad to take some profits here and there, and you should never be ashamed to sell. People sometimes want to like pressure you into thinking that selling is for weaklings and whatnot. No, it's not, right? If you're at a comfortable level, for example, sell that big quicker than anything, my friend. You know, let's say you turn $1,000 into $1 million. Some guy will tell you, no, you gotta go for 20. Let's go for whiff. You know, screw that. You know, if you're happy with whatever you've got, you know, sell on that whatever person's head. If they're telling you, I'm buying, you say, oh, I'm not. Press the sell button. At the end of the day, it is PvP, especially when you're in these smaller cap coins. So don't feel bad. All right, maybe do it respectfully. At the end of the day, though, if you're done, you've made all the money you wanted to make, and you can sell it now. My friend, nobody's going to blame you for hard taking your profit. They will actually blame you a lot, but, you know, who cares at that point? If you're completely satisfied, you never got to look back at those phases. Maybe don't do it in like a shitty way. If you're like a community of 10 people, you know, maybe don't screw those 10 people over. But if it's just the wide world web, you know, hundreds of thousands of people in it. If you're, for example, selling all your 𝗵𝗵𝗃 or whiff or whatever, nobody's really going to care. You can sell your meme coins. At the end of the day, the only reason you're holding meme coins is because you want to make money on them. And you can say, oh, fun community. Meme coins are, I think, just a little fool's game. Then again, it works, and bull markets are nice for it. So he said, Bitcoin halving hype is slowly fading away. I don't think so yet, but obviously the hype is differing because we're getting closer and closer to the halving. And so the excitement of a pump before the halving, there's not really too much time for that anymore, as the halving is here in like, what, 6 or so days? Yes, 6 days, 5, 6 days. He also says tremendous opportunities on the altcoin markets. I'm not sure if that's a negative or a positive thing, but if you think about it, the more the markets dip, the more opportunity there is also. So right now, altcoins had a hard reset, crazy crashes across the board. And that means also that if you're buying them now, you're getting a significant discount to what you could have gotten it at like a few days ago. So it becomes less risky. People often overlook this. The more that the prices come down, the less risky it gets. Every major investor will tell you this. Every hedge fund manager will tell you this. It's when prices come down that things are getting better. It's when prices go up that things are getting riskier. And you got to hardwire your brain to think this way. Down is good, up is bad. Bitcoin was at an all-time freaking high. You know how scared I was every single day that this was going to be the end? And when prices come down lower, I think, oh, you see, this is a good entry. Oh, this is an even better entry. Oh, this is really, really good. If that's in your brain, I think you're good to go. Anyway, another article. After the 60K crash, Bitcoin will resume its trend higher. And many people that I've spoken to say this is going to be the run towards an all-time high now. and the all-time high being, you know, the highest point or 100K or whatever, not just like 70,000, 73,000, but just like crazy heights for Bitcoin. I'm not fully convinced, but on my Dusty Trades channel, I said, guys, if you ever get the chance to buy like 59,000 or 60K again, do it. Anybody who did, by the way, has a massive trade open right now. You got to thank me for that, you know, but you don't, because it's you at the end of the day. But it makes me realize right now, $60,000 was set in the cards. And you got to be pretty happy that we had a good little correction right here. Somebody says, Dusty getting more crazy about a fly than the correction. Man, if you've seen the losses that I've seen, you get seasoned, right? I'm like, I always, oh, wait, let me find it real quick. Let me find it, like, I got it. Give me a second. This is the perfect example of me when it comes to crypto markets, man. You know how often I've been freaking shell-shocked in this, this crazy space? Imagine, right? You just buy a coin, and tomorrow you wake up, and it's literally worth zero. Yeah, I've had that so many times. And that's why I sometimes look at comments on Twitter of people saying, oh, I got rug pulled. And I think, so what? It happens every now and then. I don't mind. It's not the first time playing this game. I've had it so many times. I've had it as well that I've been with it for months, and I thought, oh, you see, this is the founder, this is all good, and they snatch all the money out. You know how many times? This is another thing that many people, you guys, haven't realized yet. If you are involved with FTX or Celsius or what's the other one? Isn't the one? Why can I? There's many actually. There's so many. But there's another exchange in the past, 𝗕𝗃𝗃. Oh, Luna. You know, every single time I was like, it's kind of a little sting. But the first one, I think, my major one, I think it must be, no, it's too many years ago. I remember the one that there's been so many. Man, I've been scammed so many times, actually, now to think about it. Have any of you guys ever been rug pulled or like scammed or anything along those lines? Or are you guys still like new and you haven't been completely wrecked before? How many of you guys have been, you know, how many of you guys have had your trades liquidated? I got to word that better. How many of you guys have ever gotten wrecked where you wake up and you're like, damn, damn, okay, that's not good. Voyager, all right. Safe Moon, oh yeah, that was a good one. I think I actually made good money on Safe Moon though, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that was actually a net positive. Somebody says I still have $50 in a wallet from a rug pull this week. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mt. Gox. Gemini. BitTorrent 98% down. Yeah, but I think they did a token swap, right? I'm not sure if they're actually down 98%. Are they? Really? Could be, because a lot of altcoins from the previous cycle are still down so much. Wrecked by cross margin. My friend, I actually got a little bit cooked as well on Beam just now. Yeah, I got a couple of trades really cooked up. Even though I was, no, it wasn't, maybe I was, no, I guess it was isolated then. Because my cross, I think all my crosses are still actually doing fine. Man, AI coins are getting wrecked hard, dude. I'm just looking at it on the side here on my phone. Damn. Where's that Bitcoin halving? So for all of you that do not know, right? I'll be your information source. What the Bitcoin halving basically means is that the price goes from whatever it's at, $70,000, right back down to 35. So that's basically what we're witnessing right now. The halving is in a few days. So, you know, the price slowly starts to crumble down all the way to 35,000. Whatever coin you're holding, boom, half the price. That's why it's called the halving. It's in the name, right? So obvious. Yeah. So if anybody asks you what the Bitcoin halving is, it's where the Bitcoin price halves. It's very simple, actually. I know, I'm a genius. Just take it from me, though. That's like the truth. 100%. All right, let's see what I've got, though. I've got a couple other articles. I got a couple of things. So, oh yeah, we talked just now about the 60K, the 60K crash. Yeah, I think it's not too weird to say that we're up from here. Mike says, wars cost dollars. Praying we don't get a bigger one, but after the risk flush, which could be partially because of taxes. I mean, I've seen a couple of major articles from some bigger companies that stated that some heavy tax taking is being done here as well. I'm not sure when the U.S. tax season is. I thought it was earlier in the year, though. But perhaps it's like around the beginning of April. If any of you guys know, let me know. I don't remember exactly. Wars cause dollars. Praying we don't get a bigger one, but after the risk flush, Bitcoin will resume trending higher. Yeah, and again, our philosophy there was a flush towards 5960K, which unfortunately was not as deep as I expected. Thought somebody was like entering my home, but I think imagine it's Gary Gensler knocking on my door. Damn, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, so bigger companies were saying the taxes are being taken here, but I didn't know the number. Some of you guys saying April 15th. So then it does make a little bit of sense for that to happen, just slightly before the weekend for taxes. And then perhaps with that regard, tomorrow might be a interesting day also then, if tomorrow's the tax day. Yeah. FBI open up. Could be. There are so many good things going on in the Middle East. It's tragic. Let's see. I'm in the Middle East, by the way. No fun fact. It's just tragic that we are here. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of you guys are saying XRP in the chat. XRP, XRP. You know what? Make sure you press that like button if you want to talk about XRP. Make sure you press that like button. And guys, we're covering exactly what's going on. But the rundown is a WAR. Actually, a WW, number 3 is what everybody's talking about. Some interesting things happened just last night. And before that, you might say there was actually some insider trading. Maybe they knew it was going to happen. I don't think so, though. But the entirety of the market is correcting right now. Empty says you're in Dubai. Dubai is safe. I feel safe. Otherwise, I would have left. Obviously. I feel good. I like Dubai. Will the dump continue in the next coming days? There's a good chance of that. Then again, it doesn't really make sense. Because if you think about it, the halving is a net positive event. Tax, profit for tax might be something, but theoretically speaking, tomorrow it should be over. And if the WW situation doesn't escalate, it doesn't really make sense for the markets to bleed on. Then again, it could be fear of that escalation, though, that causes things to go down lower. But it was a pretty hard dump, and it does make sense for things to basically continue up from here. Emil says, Dusty, a lot of articles are about Bitcoin crashing when somebody ran for real. It's real. Yesterday. What do you think? I mean, obviously, there's a 98% chance that that's the major cause of the price to go down. A 99.999% chance. Anyway, so if you've pressed that like button, let's quickly talk about XRP. Who wants XRP news, or should we skip it? What do you think? I'll talk about it for a bit. So Brad Garlinghouse eyes an XRP ETF. Is volatility on the horizon? So just at the Paris Blockchain Week a few days ago, people were asking questions about an XRP ETF. And the thing about XRP is, it's kind of a funny situation, really. Because I've been holding XRP for a long time, but if somebody ever asked me, I would never tell them, go hard on buying XRP right now. Because I always say, you got to go for whatever is the strongest at that point, in a bull market that is. Go for what's strongest and what has momentum. Don't go for what is just undervalued, right? Maybe perhaps in a sector that's really, really hot, undervalued coins are fine. For example, if RWAs or if meme coins are really, really hot, or if AI coins are really, really hot, you might want to look for undervalued gems. When it's a completely different sector that's not really taking people's interest, skip it until it gets hot. And the risk of that being you don't have enough exposure to when it prices itself accordingly. But the positive being you go for whatever is working because it's a working system. You go with the trend, not against the grain. If XRP is not really moving too much, you skip it until it starts moving. As I said before, you don't have to catch the wave from XRP 65 cents to $1. You can skip that one. You want to catch the wave from $1 to $10, for example. But it needs to get to $1, for example. Right? So it's not a big deal if you miss the start, if you're not buying too much, because other things are really, really hot. And it's not a bad thing. XRP is a bit stable. So are many other coins. It's not just XRP, though. Many, many coins are stable, even though they're doing good things. But at the end of the day, you should also realize that for the guys at Ripple, it doesn't really matter if it's stable or not. Matter of fact, they prefer it to be kind of stable. And you should act accordingly, always. Or this says, sorry, 0.56 now, this buying opportunity will be taken advantage of. I mean, if you get to buy XRP at like 41 cents and you're not doing that, you're a maniac, because it's an easy profit. So yesterday, the price went down so much. If you're not buying XRP, then I don't know why not. But the same thing goes for many other coins. Even Solana at 113 or so, 115. If you're not buying that, it's kind of stupid in my opinion, because it's so down low. COD says, I bought XRP at 42 cents, a refill bag. You see, you're already in massive profits though if you did that. And that's not a bad thing at all. But a lot of people, if you're only focusing on XRP, I don't agree with that philosophy. I don't know why you would only buy one coin. Have you covered the Ripple stablecoin yet? Of course we have. Of course. Anyway, so what was interesting to me was that even though, like, when looking at Twitter and stuff, the fear is at the highest level I've seen in a while. Like the FUD and just the general fear is just crazy high. If we're looking at the numbers, the actual fear and greed index shows showing massive greed. Because if you think about it, we're back down to prices from like last week or so. It's not like the entire market really had a crash that we've never seen before. It's just that altcoins got reset hard. People got put in their place. But the actual numbers of how much the market cap decreased by and how heavy the crash was, it's actually not that bad. And I think, generally speaking, it's because we are in a bull market that people are like, yeah, you see, it's a crash, but we're going to continue on. And if this was a bear market, people are like, hey, you see, this is going to go down forever. But a lot of people I've spoken to, they haven't sold any coin and they're not planning to because they still believe things will go higher. And I agree with that. It's a Black Friday deal in crypto, I guess, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Anyway, at the same time, talking about lawsuits, talking about things going on. If you've not done it yet, I'm going to quickly say it again. Make sure you press that like button. We've got 400 people watching. We got about 100 likes in. We got to get that. We got to crunch those numbers up a little bit. Doesn't cost you anything. Just make sure you press that button whenever you join on in. And now, whenever something happens, make sure I get a stream going to get everybody up to date. And I think the best thing is over the next couple of days, I'm just going to be doing live streams only, because I think it's better to just get you guys the information as soon as possible. Normally, I'm more into videos. But now I'm thinking, since everything is so crazy right now, it's not worth it to wait like an hour for the video to get posted, right? It's just nice to be in the stream as soon as possible. So I recommend you guys to have the notification bell on. Having said that, Coinbase files appeal over investment contracts in the SEC battle. You know, at the same time, like the whole lawsuit debacles, they're not sitting still, man. There are big lawsuits being fought right now as we speak. And I think a lot of people are just glancing over it, but it's still pretty wild, right? Like the Ripple lawsuit, the Coinbase lawsuit, a lot of people are fighting for the future of crypto. But nobody's talking about it. We're only just talking about our freaking shit coins going to zero. Which also makes sense because the one thing is like regulations instead of, it's kind of boring in comparison to your freaking whole portfolio going down 91% in a day if you're holding this garbage coin. Or, and now held this one. I'm not happy with that. But c'est la vie, hein? C'est la vie. At the same time, though, for all you XRP fans, Ripple sold 100 million XRP as geopolitical tensions escalate. I think that's like a little bit of a strange wording because Ripple at the end of the day sells like all the time. But this should make you realize again that for Ripple's perspective, it doesn't really matter what the price is at because they can always just keep selling. On the opposite side, it's not really that much different than any other foundation behind any crypto. People like to make Ripple seem like the worst of the bad guys, but it's honestly not that much different than anything else. Realistically, people just like to pinpoint and say, oh, you see they're selling. Any company behind a cryptocurrency or around it has sold in the past, and perhaps it was actually the way in which it was distributed. Ripple had a kind of interesting distribution in the past, and so it's just not that strange, and it's not that much, but it's something to keep in the back of your head, of course, always. Anyway, more news. Robert Kiyosaki, our interesting man, reacts to $200 Bitcoin crash prediction, miners offload Bitcoin ahead of the halving, and more. Robert Kiyosaki expressed his stance on potentially investing more into Bitcoin if the price plummets to $200. What are we talking about? Who is realistically putting up that Bitcoin is going to $200? I don't think anybody is. That's crazy. Nobody's saying that, right? Come on. Oh, people are so interesting. I don't think anybody's really putting up that Bitcoin's going to $200. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe a second of that. No, I don't believe that at all. No, 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 no. I'm not buying that, guys. I ain't buying that. I'm just looking through to see if anything crazy as new has popped up. Because obviously, whenever you're streaming for a little bit, sometimes new things pop here and there. I don't think so, though. It's all just about the yesterday's events. It's all just about people saying, how crazy the news was from yesterday. And I think at the end of the day, that's still the most major news that could be covered here. Just the whole situation from yesterday, just the fact that everything came down hard because of the WW3, the WAR, the whatever. That's what everybody's talking about. I mean, I can talk about some smaller things, the smaller altcoin pieces, but when looking through, everybody is still talking about what happened yesterday. And it's so much fear. But the way I see it is either we go big or go home. And I don't really see any middle ground here. And if you want to say, oh, but take it. No, I'm not playing it safe, my friends. Playing it safe is for sissies. I'm not doing that. We're either going big or we're going home. And I kind of feel as if we're all in the same boat right here, though. Anyway, we could have all known, right? It was the Bitcoin halving. So obviously the prices are going to get halved. I'm a genius, I know. Damn, though, right? $1 billion worth of liquidations over the past 24 hours. That is some big numbers. That is some big boy numbers over the past couple of days right here. Look at that. That is wild. Theoretically speaking, this day here was slightly crazier, March 5th. So once more, from that perspective, it's not that wild. Because I guess the price there went from 68.3 to 63,000. So also like $5,000 down in about one day. Then again, here the price went from 70,000 or so to 60,000 in like a few days. Yeah, iffy, yeah. It's about the same. About the same. So anybody asking me questions about altcoins, ladies and gentlemen, right now is the time to buy altcoins, but it's not really a matter of which one. Like every single one of them is undervalued. However, if Bitcoin comes crumbling back down a little bit more, and right now, just in front of the halving, things are volatile. Just in the weekend right here, things are volatile. As tomorrow hits and tax season is around the corner, it is a little bit volatile. If you didn't get to buy the dip just yesterday, just last night, right now you're buying it like 20% up, right? So you got to understand from a risk perspective, the dip are there to be bought. Right now it's dippy, okay, but it's not the dip of the dip. You're buying like up 20% from where you could have been buying at like hours ago. So the risk is slightly higher. And so if you're asking me about altcoins now, you got to either ask me for when things are crumbling back down even harder, or in case you just want to diversify, or you want to just buy 20% higher than you could have bought like hours ago. Because right now your risk is a little bit higher than what it could have been at like a little bit back. And that's important to note. Those percentages matter a lot. An entry into Solana at $115 would have been perfect. Now at like 140-ish is okay, but it's a big difference between 115 and 140. So what you could be doing is, I'm personally using a place like Bybit, right? You guys all know I love Bybit to the death. And you just can put in many, many orders for many coins if you've got the money laying around. You just layer your way down. If we're talking Bitcoin, for example, you start at what? 61,000. You layer $500 down. So you go 61,000, 60.5, 60,000, and you go up 100. So you never buy the exact round number. You buy, 61,100, 60,600, 60,100, 59.6, 59.1. You kind of layer your way down. And I prefer it that way rather than going from 60, 57, I prefer to just kind of layer your buys more frequently with lesser amounts, because you want to be having a longer leeway, but you'll know that the price will most likely turn around at either, as you said, 59, 60K like it did now, as our expectation was, or at 50,000. Middle ground, there ain't that much. But so if you're just having more, dense orders around those levels, I think it's smarter. Then again, between 60,000 and 50, you can put them a lot broader, for example. But on the opposite side, if you know 50K is the bottom of the bottom, in my opinion, like almost worst case scenario, it also makes sense to just keep layering down all the way till there. Daniel says Bitcoin will be back at an all-time high next week. I don't know about next week, but it's not crazy for Bitcoin to just be back at an all-time high so soon. People are so fearful in these times. You're being shaken out is what I think, right? I don't see any reason to be afraid right here. Matter of fact, like I've been saying, the only thing I'm thinking of is where best could I place long positions. Not a single second am I thinking of giving up or selling everything. And if you are, rethink your thesis when it comes to investing in all this. If you really are afraid right now, you're scared, you're not the same type of person as the majority of this chat. Like, I think the majority of the chat here is thinking we either go big or we go home. And that's just my thesis as well. And that's what I vibe with people who are like, you know what? We got to go. We're either to the bottom of the bottom. Zero. Okay, my lamp is a lot less stable than I thought it was. I think we're still good. Imagine this lamp just hits me in the head, knocked out, you know, a real halving for you, I guess, right? Split my face. I don't think it's that sharp. Anyway, we're either big or go home. And I think the majority of the people in this chat are just like that. Just, you know, a little bit crazy. Some of you guys are really crazy, though. When I see what you write in this chat box, man, you guys got to go to like a mental hospital or something, man. Some of you guys are like a little bit too wild. But hey, you know, I'm good with that. You know, I'm not judging you. I'm just, you know, the rest of the people might. Just putting it out there. But that's the thesis I live by. As I've said before, I've made good sums of money over my life. And the majority of times when I did so was when I went a little bit off the rocker. And I know it might feel really annoying when things are crumbling back down. But as long as you've got the general thesis lined up, which is right now we've got a year or so of just crazy bull market. Don't overthink it. Don't think that this time it will be different. And don't deviate from the strategy, which is go hard or go home. And I personally think, right? You have to decide for yourself. I personally think if I just do that, 10x at least. Whole portfolio 10x at least. If I deviate, oh, I got to play it safe this time. Oh, this time it will be later. Things might go wrong. If I just do the plan, it's hard on the mental to see all your money go down, but if I just focus on the plan that I've set out, I've written every single piece of it down, I know what I got to do, I know in my head everything will be fine. It's only when I deviate from my plan, which is a little bit crazy, that things might go wrong. So if you're asking me which coins though, there's one thing a lot of you guys don't want to realize, but it is, if you're holding XRP right now, I don't think it's a bad idea. But I will tell you with great honesty that I've not bought XRP in a good while. I bought some last night, actually, so I'm a little bit lying to you. But I bought nearly everything last night. I was just on my phone, panicking a little bit from the fact that I've only got a few minutes, and I didn't set all my orders up because I didn't expect things to go this wild. But I bought some XRP, bought some Ethereum, bought some Solana, bought some other things. I don't know. Sometimes what I also do is I go to Bybit. I go to worst losses. So you just like, instead of best gainers, you double click it again. You look at the ones that have done the worst. And this was my bull market strategy in 2017. What my bot used to do is look for the coins that went down the craziest. And it buys them when it's down 30% or whatever. And it tries to catch the leg upwards. Only works in bull markets. If you do this in a bear market, you're going to get wrecked. I know from experience, I got wrecked really hard. But I wouldn't buy XRP or any of those things right now. Even though it will probably recover, I would go for whatever looks hot. And hot, I think one of the things that's really, really hot right now is the Solana ecosystem. Again, we can differ opinions on this, but you might say, oh, but it's such a good coin. That's fundamental. Who gives a crap about fundamentals when it's just crazy hype all along? Let's be realistic here, all right? We're not talking about you being a morale warrior of like, oh, this coin, it's being used by this, that, and that's why it's the best. If you want to stick to only morale, go somewhere else, because morale is not going to make you the majority of your money. Let's be real. It's about whatever people find the hottest. Why do you think we talk about AI and gaming coins so much? Gaming coins, almost all of them are crap. AI coins, most of them are stupid, but they're hyped up and they make money. So, hey. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm quickly going to leave you because my hospital is calling me. All right, we back, boys. We are back on crack. Let's see here real quick. So Shutter Down says memes are the narrative this run. This one on Soul. Yeah, meme coins are not bad. Let's be real here. Like money-wise, memes are so good. Base meme coins, Solana meme coins, everything is hot. And that's why I talk about it a lot over on TikTok as well. Because honestly, if you're fully focused on memes, you can make crazy gains. You can. Then again, if you're fully focused on XRP and you're not making billions, I think you're also mistaken. It's just you got to focus on something. XRP was 41 cents a few hours ago. Right now it's 49 cents. You can make a lot of money on XRP. People are overestimating this or underestimating this. If you just consecutively buy XRP, you can make a lot. You can do really well. But you got to commit though. Like if you only buy it once, you might hit or miss. But if you just keep on buying it down lower, yeah, it's hard to lose, my friend. Let's see here. Okay, the wormhole is finally pumping. What a garbage coin that has been, huh? Quite recently here. What's worst of today? 𝗬𝗏 is down 25%. You see, we had a hard reset on a lot of altcoins. 𝗬𝗏 was trading at what, $100 and something before? Or like $90 or so before? I don't remember. I think it was like 90 bucks. 𝗕𝗓𝗓. Whoa. I don't even know, but 𝗕𝗓𝗓 went so wild earlier. Core was trading at like almost, I think $4 so a little while back. I should have hedged this. I had so much core I still have. It's one of my bigger bags. But I think like, yeah, you know, it's not good, I guess. Oh man, Pendle is down from 7 some to 560. Yeah, it's actually a really nice shopping session right here. If you just go around and buy everything, you look back in a few weeks, you'll be up a ton. But there comes the issue of having enough money to buy, right? It's not so easy, I guess. But damn, any dip right now is worth buying, I think. But, you know, hopefully you were there a few hours ago to buy the dip, though, because we're already up a good bit. Then again, like you guys said in the chat box, most likely we'll be looking back at this in a week or two. If you take a little break right now, you go, you know, go to the beach for like a vacation or so, you're gonna come back. All of a sudden you notice everything is up higher than it's ever been. That's the most likely scenario. But ladies and gentlemen, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. You know exactly why things came crashing back down. You know exactly my strategy, which is buy the freaking dip. Don't think about it too much and realize that this is just the start of many great things to come. If you're only into one coin, maybe, you know, don't do that. And realize that up is the only way to go. So we're going a little bit crazy because that's how you make the majority of your money. If you're not doing that, make sure you press the like button. If you're not doing that, make sure you put that notification bell on because we're going to be streaming every single day. Or at least we're going to be posting update videos to keep everybody in the loop and everybody in the loop with what we're thinking. Because right now is a crazy time. But we can hopefully make a crazy new decision soon. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can buy something at a really steep discount later. Or we can do something crazy. I'm going to keep you guys up to date, though, with all that. So make sure you put the notification bell on. And I'll see you guys for sure tomorrow. Maybe even later today. Who knows? Something crazy happens. I got you guys. Don't worry about it. And peace out, guys. Peace out.